You're never truly alone. I want to go over what I mean by this because I recently had someone close to me tell me that they were a little bit sad because I mentioned to them before that I actually enjoy being by myself a lot of the time. I enjoy my solitude. I actually like myself and I enjoy being with myself. And the kind of impression I got was that maybe they didn't believe me or thought maybe projecting their own thing onto me, thinking, well, I wouldn't feel comfortable alone, so clearly he isn't. And so I want to address this because I think this is not something that is just unique to this person I very much care about, but also to a lot of different people who can feel very lonely when they are by themselves. And I want to go over in this video, at least from my perspective, as someone who spends a ton of time by himself, how I'm never lonely. I rarely ever feel the emotion of loneliness. In fact, I can't think of a time I've felt it more than a few moments. And I'm talking about for real feeling that emotion, not pushing it down, not denying it, not trying to move away from it. I haven't genuinely felt the emotion of loneliness in a very long time. I want to go over why that is and why I truly believe you're never really alone, and how you can also tap into this, connect to this, and feel the same way. So we're going to go over what that is coming up next. So before we get started, everyone, I want to mention that I have a free higher self guided meditation you can get through my link down below in the description, or you can just go to www.heartpath.co and it'll be right there for you to download. And if you do this meditation pretty consistently, even after a couple of days, you're going to start seeing amazing results. In fact, what we go over in this video, that meditation is going to start helping you with that. Because we're talking about, you're never really alone. A lot of people, I think, feel disconnected. We're going through a time on the planet where a lot of people have been, in a sense, forced to stay indoors, to stay in places, to not be able to go out and interact in maybe the ways they normally would. And because of that, maybe some feelings of loneliness, especially if you don't live with anyone, or maybe someone who's not close to you, or maybe you're far away from someone that typically you would interact with a lot, or whatever else it is. A lot of feelings, I think, of loneliness have come up for a lot of different people. A lot of feelings of maybe disconnect have come up from a lot of different people. And I think it's a very normal response to what we're going through. But the perspective and angle I want to come from is it's actually an amazing opportunity to feel, perhaps even for the first time in your life, very vividly and powerfully or consistently, true connection. A time to really be able to be with yourself. And instead of using other relationships and connections in order to avoid perhaps the obvious disconnect you feel from yourself and from what you truly are, it is an amazing opportunity to tune back into that. Because in my eyes, and what I'm inviting you to try on today, is that you are never disconnected from what you actually are. You can forget what you actually are. You can forget that at any moment you can connect to all that is and the love that you actually are and that you come from. You can call this God, you can call this source, you can call this divinity, you can call this the universe. It doesn't really matter. You can call this oneness, which I think is a great word for it, tapping into the oneness of what it is we actually are. And a lot of times we feel lonely because we derive love, conditional love, I'll say, from things outside of us. And so we grow up with this habit of equating love to a person. For example, like if I'm around this person, I feel wanted and I feel validated and I feel love. But this is based on a system of love that a lot of us grew up in called conditional love. Where what I'm inviting you to do, what I'm inviting you to experience and which you have access to is to experience, maybe even for the first time in a long time or ever, unconditional love. There is such a thing called unconditional love. A lot of people like to make the joke that there is no such thing because most of us do not display it. There are very many people who, because they can't feel unconditional love for themselves, which is one of the first steps in being able to tap into that, they can't give it to another. One of my favorite just sayings and kind of analogies for this is you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot give to another that which you do not have yourself. That which you have not experienced for yourself, you cannot help another experience. If I want to help someone out of poverty, it's going to be very difficult for me to do that if I am also in poverty. It's very hard for me to help someone with their health if I myself am unhealthy and I have no idea the tenets of health and how to take care of myself. To make it even more obvious, if I want to help someone in the gym and I don't know how to do the thing they're trying to do, I could pretend I know what I'm doing, but I'm probably going to hurt myself or them. You cannot give that which you do not have. And a lot of people are walking around not actually having love for themselves. True love. Conditional love, maybe. The kind of love that says if I do X, Y, and Z, then I give myself permission to feel the conditional love I grew up on. When I'm hanging around this person, maybe they're someone who's tapped more into their own unconditional love, and so I'm able to receive love from them, but I don't know how to bring that up in myself, and so I feel lonely when I'm not around that person. Or perhaps we bond because we both are unable to feel love within ourselves, and so we bond on that issue, and that appears like conditional love or feels like love to me. And then when that person's not there, I can't trauma bond or bond on these same issues, and therefore it feels lonely. But you'll find that when you truly connect to this unconditional love that you always have access to, when you sit in silence and you connect to what you truly are, not what you've been told you are, not what you've been convinced you are, but what you truly are, you'll find you'll feel love more powerfully than you ever have before, more than any of the superficial love you may have felt in other sources. And this is not to be poking at certain things that you may have been receiving love, because as far as I know, you could have been receiving unconditional love from certain places. But my invitation for you is to understand that true love comes from within. True love comes from source and what you truly are. You are love. And you are so powerful in the love that you are. You can even convince yourself or allow others who are also powerful to convince you that you are not that. That's where the free will and free choice comes into. We are so powerful, we can convince ourselves that we are not loved, even though we have always been loved, always are loved, and always will be loved. And when you sit in silence and connect to that, when you sit and connect to source and you quiet your mind that is trying to say that love comes from here and it comes from this outside thing and it comes from you doing well in a sport, or it comes from you getting the validation and approval of your parents, or it comes from you making a certain appearance to this group of people and then they give you praise and I feel love that way, or connecting to this person who went through similar issues and then we trauma bond in that way. When you let your mind go silent and you don't hook into any of that, you create the space for what you are to come in. And I just, by even just thinking this, kind of had it start to come in. And I just had a nice little jolt of like, whoa, kind of energy come in. When you connect to that, you will feel what real, true, unconditional love is. The love that doesn't need you to do anything to feel it. What it needs you to do is stop doing all the things you think you need to do in order to receive love, in order to receive connection. You are always connected, or always at least have the opportunity to connect. And funnily enough, it automatically starts to come in when you tune out the thing that's telling you that you need X, Y, and Z to feel love. You need X, Y, and Z to not feel lonely, to feel connected. And when you tune that out and you tune in to the space, to the silence, to what it is you actually are, you're going to experience some incredible things and some amazing connection, and just, it's very hard to even describe it here. But I'll just say this. One of the reasons I can spend most of my days by myself, most of my days getting excited to just create content, to do my meditations, to be out in nature, just with myself. And doesn't mean that there's not people I don't love to hang out with and be with, but usually they're also people who come from this unconditional place. There is no condition in which they give me love, I give them love. They just are love and they emanate that, and we emanate that together, right? And what allows for that is I spend a lot of time, I love myself unconditionally, and I allow myself to connect to that which I truly am on a daily basis. And so my invitation for you is to do the same if this resonates with you. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. Again, these are just my thoughts, my beliefs, what has served me very well and served others who I've worked with or who I'm friends with and connected with. Again, the free meditation I offer that is down below in the description will help you with this. It helps you connect to your higher self, which, little sneak preview there is connecting more to what you truly are, your higher self, your ultimate self, your divine self, right? Which is connected to love, which is pure light energy, which is just going to be a beautiful experience when you connect to that. And you can connect to that just by lying on your bed, sitting in a chair. You don't need to go do all these other things to connect to that. I need to go be successful, do blah, whatever it is. It's like you're sitting in a chair able to feel unconditional love by sitting in a chair. It's magical. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember that you are loved and connect to that today if this resonates with you. Thank you for putting up with the sun coming in and out, and so now my face is very bright. I'm turning more into a light energy as we speak. There you go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you are loved, and I'll see you in the next video.